I really think some of y'all is hitching y'all wagons to some raggedy ass horses, man. But hey, I guess fandom. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to another episode of Kicking It with Saint, man. I'm getting a little bit healthier, man. I still got a lot of mucus in the system that just be coming up over the past week and a half, but I am doing a lot better. I was gonna drop the episode last night, but I was like, you know what? Let me watch the Bears game because I like Justin Fields, and I had told y'all on the last podcast that Justin Fields is it. Like him. Fields is him. Like he gonna be legit for Chicago. The thing is, so they lost to the Steelers tonight in Pittsburgh by a game-winning field goal, and the fucking bruh. So if you watch this game, bro, and you watch the field goal at the end of this game, bro, it looked like that shit hit the crossbar. Like, it looked like it doinked off the crossbar. But then they showed the replay. They showed the replay from a different angle, bro. That shit would have been good from like 40 yards, bro. That motherfucker missed it by like 20 yards, bro. I don't know how my eyes deceived me in such a manner, bro. And I should have known. I kind of felt like I was finna be shocked after Steve Levy was like, yo, as they were showing the replay, he was like, yo, I know how people reacted. He said, but what I just saw, like, I think he was like, I don't know what people just saw at home or whatever, but what I just saw, like, bruh, and when they showed what that motherfucker saw, I was like, ain't no fucking way that looked like that just popped off. Maybe it's because of how the ball was spinning. It looked like, I don't know, bruh, because I swear to you, it looked like that shit hit the crossbar and bounced off, bruh. Clearly my eyes are fucking liars, bro, because that was wild. But look, bro, Chicago lost like they lost last week, bro. Last week, Justin Fields won them the game, and then they found a way to lose the game at the end. This week, Justin Fields wins them the game. They find a way to lose the game in the end. And the thing is, because you can't really blame one play and all that, but the defense, man. For one, bro, if you looked at this game, the amount of fucking penalties that they was throwing on the Chicago Bears, bro. Now, I don't have no horse in the race. I'm not a Chicago fan. I'm not a Pittsburgh fan. Now, I'm a Baltimore fan, so I know you would be like, oh, well, obviously you want Pittsburgh to lose. Well, yeah, I want Pittsburgh to lose, but I could have cared less. Like, listen, I wouldn't even watch this game if not for the fact that Chicago played. Like, the news could have popped. If they were playing anybody else, the news could have popped up on more. Like, if they was playing another bad team. Because Chicago's a bad team with a good quarterback. Who's a young good quarterback. But if they was playing any other bad team like the Jags or some shit like that, I'm not watching that shit. I'm waiting for the news thing to pop up, and if they win it, I'm like, alright. And if they lose, I'm like, hey, shit, they just lost. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't gonna bother me either way. However, they should have lost this fucking game. Now, granted, you could, in the beginning of the game, listen, they had short fields to get their first early touchdowns, but I knew if Chicago had just kept playing, I knew this game was going to turn into what it turned into, because Pittsburgh is offensively challenged, bro. Don't be fooled when you see them put up that quick 14. Listen, it's very rare Pittsburgh drive the full length of a field multiple times in the game now. They just don't have the capability to do that shit anymore. And if you a really bad defense, they'll get you here and there. At the end of the game, though, was just inexcusable. You got motherfuckers getting called for offsides on the defense. You got dudes on the defense leaving dudes wide. And that's what really irritated me about that drive. So, for one, it was a whole minute and something left. So, it's not like Pittsburgh was just throwing deep passes. Plus, Pittsburgh, they don't normally throw the ball deep. Big Ben haven't been good at that. These motherfuckers was dinking and dunking the entire way up the field and just picking up big yards. Chicago couldn't tackle. They wouldn't defend it. Like, I don't know what Chicago was trying to do on that last drive other than lose the game after Justin Fields had just tried to win them the game. Like, I don't know how. Bruh, that shit is just hella confusing to me, bruh. It's just like Baltimore yesterday, bruh, in the game against the Vikings, bruh. Lamar Jackson bring you back into this game. He win you this game, basically, and then you let Kirk Cousins and them go down the field and tie up the game. And then on a 4th and 9, you let the motherfucker get wide. You leave. You don't even make him work for that conversion. You leave Justin Jefferson wide open. I don't understand what's wrong with these fucking defenses, bruh. Like, I really don't. I don't get it, bruh. Yeah, and you can say any excuse in the book for, oh, they been out here all game. Man, motherfucker, who cares? The offenses be out there all games and shit. Man, I'm telling you, bro, these defenses pissing me off, man. They just throw away the hard work of their offense all the fucking time, bro. You know a defense that should have been tired? The Vikings defense. Baltimore ran like 30 more fucking offensive plays than them yesterday. I think the Vikings had 49 total plays. Baltimore had 80. That's a defense that should be tired. It was not that type of discrepancy for Chicago tonight. Their defense just fucking sucks. And they're what do you call it? Not uncoachable, undisciplined. Because Robert Quinn got called for offsides twice, bro. Like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Quinn done been a great defender in the NFL for way too long to be getting called for all fucking sides, bro. And not only that, when you actually are getting called for stupid penalties, but on top of that, the refs is calling you for bozo penalties, bruh, you hurt the team. Not only was that the problem, because the refs to me was just calling absolutely outrageous penalties on the Chicago Bears. They called a PI on Chicago at one point in time, when it really should have been PI on the Steelers, not on the defender. That shit was so crazy. Like, I don't know what these refs was looking at tonight. Like, even the announcers in the booth was talking about, and I told you, I don't watch these games with sound on, but I have been watching some of these games with sound on recently, and I don't even know why. It's like when I turn on the TV, if the sound already on, I don't even bother to turn it down, bro. I just try to zone, because I be working at the same time while I be watching some of these games. But even Steve Levy and Louis Riddick and Greasy was talking about how crazy these calls was tonight. Like, what the fuck are y'all call? Like, it was just absolute. They took a touchdown away from Chicago off of a fucking crazy ass call that was outrageous. And even a former announcer came in and was like, that should not have been called. And all three of them in the booth was like, bro, they just took away 6 points from this team for no reason. Like, the calls was so biased tonight. Like, you dead ass would have thought Pittsburgh was paying these refs, bro. Like, I might say that. I don't even think I say that often. But, bro, tonight was definitely a discrepancy as far as the calls, bro. It's no way. And, bro, it was multiple times tonight where Chicago got off the field on defense, and the fucking refs put them right back on the field. Off of just stupid fucking penalties that you don't have to call. Either it was ticky-tack or they just nobody saw where the call was, bro. Like, bro, and the refs got to do something about this. I mean, the NFL got to do something about these taunting penalties, bro. So from what I was told, bro, is these old white motherfucking owners, bro, who called the fucking who wanted to put that rule in place. And so now you got these referees who basically costing people games and deciding games, because Chicago got off the field again and they got put their asses right back on the field because of a fucking 15 fucking yard unsportsmanlike conduct or taunting. How is that called 15 fucking yards, bruh? 15 yards? What? Bro, you're basically saying a taunting is the same. Mind you, it was no taunt that happened. Cassius Marsh did not taunt. What's crazy to me is that the ref can look at a dude's his ass, like they could be looking at his ass in the back of his jersey and think he is talking trash somehow and throwing a flag on him. Because that's essentially what happened. The ref is looking at Marsh's ass in the back of his jersey and helmet, and I guess he said to himself, he got to be talking trash, and threw a penalty, bro. I'm like, yo, what the absolute fuck? You just chose the... It's no way. The announcers on the team was even talking about that. Like, it's no fucking way he decided to throw that flag right there, bro. It's absurd that was actually allowed to happen. Like, and you got these referees that's basically... This shit is becoming the NBA refereeing, bro. If you listen to this podcast, you know I think the absolute worst referees in any sport is the NBA, bro. The NBA has such egregious refereeing, bro. They cost teams and players games and stats and all this type of shit all the time. All the time. If you want it, bro, and college basketball ain't too far behind, bro. The last time I watched a college basketball, because I used to love college basketball. I used to love UNC, bro. I'm talking about, I came up during the Sean May, Tyler Haynes, bro, Danny Green days, bro. Ty Law. Bro, I remember the last time I watched UNC's we get to the national championship, the second window, like the NCAA championship, not the one that we lost against Villanova, where bruh hit the game winning shot. I think it was I can't even remember the dude's name, but first we thought Marcus Page had hit the game winning shot. If you go back and watch that game, the officiating in that game was so fucking bad, bruh. And then if you watch UNC get to the finals the next time and avenge it, look at the officiating in that game. That's all people talked about, was how bad the officiating was. They called a penalty. What do you call it in basketball? I can't even remember it at the moment. They blew the whistle, bruh, and called a foul. That's it. They called a foul on almost every fucking trip up the floor for both teams. It was so bad, bruh. And I was like, I'm not watching this shit again. I'm not watching this again. And I even remember the Kentucky game that they got. I'm like, yo, how are you calling these calls, bruh? And it got to the point where I'm looking at these games and I'm saying to myself, I'm doing the math, and I'm lying. I'm not doing math. But I'm putting 2 and 2 together and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, they won this game because of the refs. Like, the refs killed the other team's momentum. The refs gave them momentum. The refs was calling ticky-tack fouls for them, not for the other team. When you see how egregious and biased some of the refereeing is in college basketball and in the NBA, it shit just throw you off. You like, man, I can't watch this because it's not even athletes deciding the games no more, bruh. It's the fucking referees deciding who win and lose games. And that shit's not cool. Like, that shit is not cool, bruh. And so that's why I got thrown off when it comes to, I don't watch college basketball anymore at all. But I do not enjoy NBA basketball. That's why I don't watch the NBA now until the All-Star break. The All-Star game is the first real game. It's an exhibition game. And that's my favorite game of the season most of the time. But that's the first, because I can just sit and enjoy that game with no attachments. Like, I don't have to be worried about who wins or loses. It's just an exhibition of motherfuckers balling, and the refs can't fuck up the game. That's all it is. So that's why that's probably the most enjoyable game to me as far as basketball game all year. Like, nothing ever tops the All-Star game for me. That's legit the only fucking game of basketball I look forward to watching every fucking year is the NBA All-Star game. That's it. Because the refs ain't gonna be fucking the game up all game. The players is just going to be doing what they great at, shooting, dunking. And it's limited defense until the fourth quarter. I don't want to see them motherfuckers playing hardcore defense all game anyways. I don't look at this shit to see the score be 40-40. I'm looking at that shit so it can be 200. You know what I'm saying? My favorite team to watch is great super teams, bruh. Because they score a lot of fucking points. And usually they can hold the other team to a little bit of points. But I ain't even mad at super teams who don't play good defense. If you got a super team that score a bunch of fucking points, I love that shit. Miami Heat, love that shit. Any super team that Kobe carried. Because Kobe didn't really have no super teams. But every single Kobe Bryant team, loved it. The Warriors with KD, loved it. The Warriors without KD, loved it. I'm telling you, bruh, if you can score a lot of motherfucking points, bruh, I fucks with it. Unless you the Boston Celtics or the Clippers. Fuck both of them teams. But this is not a basketball podcast. We was talking about these bozo-ass referees, bruh. But that's all I'm saying. When you see how crazy these refs decide games and shit like that, it throw you off. And now you looking at this game and you like, bruh, it's no fucking shot. You calling all this shit on Chicago. And like I said, I have no dog in this fight. Chicago winning and losing makes no difference to me. They're not winning their division with the Packers. But what I'm saying is, they did enough to win that game if the fucking refs don't come. Now listen, I can't do nothing about the bozo or moronic plays that you have players making just off of just brain lapses, bruh. Off of just being careless and undisciplined. That's one thing. But to be consistently calling these ticky-tack calls or these ghost calls on one team is outrageous. That's not what home field advantage should be. Home field advantage should have to do more with the fans and the noise, not the officiating, bruh. And I always hated when I watched the NBA and it was like, oh, you know the call's going to lean more to the home team. No, they shouldn't, though. They shouldn't. It should be called fairly down the middle. Like, this game should not be decided by referees. This game should be decided by the athletes on the field. And too many times it's not becoming that. And all the fucking NFL gonna do is release a statement. Oh yeah, they shouldn't have made this call. Or, oh yeah, they missed one there. But they not gonna change the result. The game not gonna get replayed. It can't be replayed. That's why this shit matters, bro. They gonna have to do something. That taunting call has to be eliminated. It's a subjective call. It's clearly a subjective call after the shit the dude called tonight. Because he ain't even looking at Marsh's mouth. He is legitimately looking at this man's ass and his number and the back of his helmet, bro. And Marsh don't even got the green dot on the back of his helmet. So the motherfucker is basically looking in the blank space and his ass, bro. And his helmet and his ass is the same colors in the Chicago jerseys tonight. So he was looking at the same tones of blue on my man's ass and on his helmet and his number, bro. And decided to throw a penalty, bro. And call taunting. That's outrageous. That's outrageous. So they have to take that shit out of the, like, bro, I get the Tyreek Hill taunt and shit. When he legitimately peace signing motherfuckers in their face when he jetting past them, I get that. Because I done played football. If I got burnt, it's because you gotta understand, it's not even getting burnt. Let me reword that. When Tyreek Hill run past some of these motherfuckers, it's not because he burnt these motherfuckers. It's because it's a lapse in the defense or a cornerback got beat. And now the defender, the secondary dude, have to rearrange what he was possibly doing and try to save that play. And most of the time, they can't save that play because Brudden already started turning into his next gear. I mean, he is fast. However, if I'm in that situation as a defender and I know he didn't just legitimately beat me, and I'm already pissed because we losing probably, or it's a close game, it's ticky-tack, and I'm already pissed because dudes ain't doing what they're supposed to, and I see a motherfucker peace sign me on the way by, yeah, we gonna probably, I don't think I will fight the motherfucker, but I don't know, man, because sometimes it depends on how bad we losing, bro. Because if we losing bad enough, bro, I definitely gonna chase him down and talk to him about it. And be like, peace sign me now, motherfucker. That's where my mind could be. I done been in them moments, so I can't say I would be the bigger man. Because I done been in them moments. So I get that type of taunt. Like, that is a flag now. I get that. I have no problem with that. That can be called a taunting call. Who cares? I agree. You should, because these motherfuckers be in heated moments, bro. The game is long as shit. Motherfuckers get mad. I mean, you see how motherfuckers act in these games sometimes when they losing. So I get that. But the call the shit that bruh called tonight, bruh, that basically put Pittsburgh, it put Pittsburgh back on the field after they didn't convert on third down. It's stupid, bro. It's no way that can continue to happen, bro. Because that's a subjective call. Imagine the Super Bowl, they call a couple of them some bitches on one team. I'm telling you. Some people don't care because it ain't their teams that's playing. Just imagine when that shit start happening to your team in big games that matter, bro. And they calling these bozo-ass phantom taunting calls, bro. It's absolutely insane, bro. They expect you to, it's just absolutely insane, bro. It's insane. And these referees is becoming NBA refs, bro. But I just think Chicago got a bad hand dealt to them tonight. I think they did enough to win this game. Yeah, but let me also say something else about Chicago. Because aside from the refs, I said there was multiple ways Chicago lost the game, but the fucking refs didn't help them at all with the excessive number of penalties. Bro, Chicago's coaching, bro. I say this every time I talk about Chicago. Chicago got to fire these fuckers after the season is over, bro. I don't know who do the firing of the GM, but the GM need to be fired. Then the coach need to be fired. And every fucking person on that staff need to be fired. They need to redo the entire organization around Justin Fields now. Because you have a quarterback. You have him. You got a guy. Justin Fields made big plays last week. He made big fucking plays this week. And I'm starting to see, and I done said it once before, he is being held back, bro. They don't even call good plays for him most of the game. This is Bruh, the first half of this game for the Bears offensively was atrocious, bruh. And it's because, yeah, you can talk about the interception he threw. Like I said, rookies gonna make mistakes, bruh. It is what it is. If you're gonna praise Mac Jones for being an average quarterback, basically, but completing a bunch of checkdowns that go for big yardages and hitting a long pass here or there, and the long pass for him is usually like what? Like a 30-yarder or a 25-yarder is what y'all consider long for Mac Jones. So if you're going to praise Mac Jones for being basically average, but a great defense around him and a great and other guys picking up yak, then I don't want to hear about Justin Fields throwing a fucking interception, because the way he bounced back tonight was big. But when you call these, if you're looking at Chicago, bro, they do him such a disservice with how they call the beginning of these games for him, or how they call most of these fucking games, to be honest with you, bro. Because if the only thing they do consistent is call a bad game, and Matt Nagy supposed to be like some fucking guru on offense. Man, y'all really love throwing that. Let me stop saying y'all. The media really love throwing that fucking offensive guru term around a lot, man. I'm starting to notice that, because Jesus fucking Christ, man. It's okay to just say a motherfucker had Patrick Mahomes. A motherfucker had Peyton Manning. A motherfucker had Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees. We can stop saying these motherfuckers is gurus because they had a great season behind great quarterbacks that are historically great, who've proven to be great with other coordinators. Like, what are we doing? This dude, Matt Nagy's what is the only thing keeping him in his job? What, because he made the playoffs once? Like, this organization done failed this team on so many, done failed the fan base. See, and that's what's funny to me, because the fan base love to take shots at their own players and shit when they don't want to be there no more. But why would I want to play for this organization? These motherfuckers could have had Deshaun Watson, bruh. I keep telling y'all, I will give them an excuse for Patrick Mahomes, even though I really shouldn't, because Andy Reid went up far in the draft to get that motherfucker, to get Patrick Mahomes. And from what I understand and what I've heard, nobody knew that motherfucker was gonna be great but Andy Reid. However, if you motherfuckers is doing their job, they should have known Patrick Mahomes. Even though what Patrick Mahomes is doing now might be what they was seeing. How sloppy and I mean, to be completely honest with you, I've been said this. Patrick Mahomes been sloppy for every year he been a starter. I think it was one year that he won MVP where he wasn't so, his fundamentals was so trash, because he just got away with it for a long time because they had a phenomenal core around him, and the motherfuckers dropped a lot of interceptions. Like, motherfuckers dropped Patrick Mahomes interceptions all the time, and I almost felt like they was trying to help him out. This year, motherfuckers ain't dropping his interceptions, even though Kevin King dropped the interception, and he get a lot of them bitches called back. But motherfuckers could have had Deshaun Watson. There's no excuse for not having Deshaun Watson. He was good on tape, on film, in college. It was no excuse to not take Deshaun Watson. They chose to take Mitchell fucking Trubisky, bro. Somebody gotta pay for that. Motherfucker not even on the team no more. Somebody gotta pay for that. And it's so crazy that y'all motherfuckers give y'all players hell. Y'all give y'all, and that's the thing. And maybe I should take heed of this, because how can I be mad at Patrick Queen when I never thought Patrick Queen was it? Even though he got that one good year with LSU, I never thought he was it from the moment he stepped on the team. But how can I be mad at Patrick Queen when it's the fucking team who drafted him? But see, that's a slight different case, because he on film showed that he might be good for them. So that's completely different. So take that back. Mitchell Trubisky had only started, 4 fucking games, bro. Deshaun Watson had just been to 2 national championship games. He beat Nick Saban's defense in one of them. And a lot of motherfuckers who on that defense is good players in the NFL now. And he almost beat them the first time, too. But somehow people still doubted him. Somehow people still thought Deshaun Watson wasn't this or that. Deshaun Watson was one of the only college, because I don't like college football. I'm going to just tell you that right now. I done said that multiple times. I am not entertained by college football. The only team that I like watching in college football is Alabama. And that's because I like Nick Saban and I like the defense that they put on the field most of the time. Because it's not an offensive thing. You wouldn't like Alabama for the offense. Because as much as I love Julio, because Julio is my favorite receiver all the time, and I like the Calvin Ridleys and all the studs with Devontae, oh man, I'm about to forget his last name, so I'm not gonna say it, baby. All the studs that we didn't have for them, Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram, it's never a fucking quarterback. Like, do you know the best Alabama quarterback while I was coming up, before Tua came along, was AJ McCarron. AJ McCarron was the Alabama quarterback that was our dude for 4 years, bro. I didn't even know that motherfucker had all them tattoos to his last year at Alabama. So we was fucking with, it was the defensive guys, the running backs, and the receivers was great, but they didn't get more pub than the fucking running backs at the time, like the running. And do you see how fucking big this dude Derrick Henry is? But that's what I'm saying. I don't enjoy college football, bro. It's college football is not enjoyable to me. However, when I watched Deshaun Watson, because I'm an Alabama fan, so we played him twice, that I was like, yo, this motherfucker is an NFL quarterback. I was like, he make the checks that NFL quarterbacks make. He already know to check the ball down. He good from the pocket. He looked very elusive. And that was just me off of the first time I saw this motherfucker play. I started to watch him that next year because I didn't know who Deshaun Watson was before he played us in the national championship game. I'm telling you, I do not watch college football. I watch Alabama. So if we don't play that motherfucker during the season, and if we play him once, then I'm going to forget who he is after that game, bro, to be honest with you. We played that motherfucker in the national championship game, so that automatically let me know this team is a good team they do. And that was also around the time where Dabo and them boys was getting big. But Dabo was kind of bigger than Deshaun at one point in time, because I still didn't know who the fuck Deshaun Watson was, but I knew who Dabo Sweeney was. And that's kind of the same situation with Nick Saban, where you know who Nick Saban is, but you don't know some of the names of the players there. Because at no point in time was Julio Jones like ever bigger than Nick Saban and no shit like that. Tua Tagovailoa might have been the closest one that I can remember whose name was as big, because he came in. Because usually, even though these dudes like AJ McCarron was a big name and shit like that too, but none of these dudes had the hype around him that Nick Saban had. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they was probably big on campus and shit, but it was Nick. Dabo Sweeney didn't even do what Nick Saban did to become bigger than his players. Like, that's what was crazy to me. But anyways, Deshaun Watson, after I saw that motherfucker the first time against us in the national championship game, I was like, oh, this motherfucker lit. I was like, this dude is an NFL quarterback. I started watching him that next year, and yeah, he threw a couple picks and shit like that, but that's what quarterbacks do when they starting to take over and try to become a more pocket passer type of quarterback. When they trying to operate more from the pocket and shit, you make mistakes in the pocket sometimes. That's why I don't never want quarterbacks who can go outside the pocket and make plays at times to stop doing that, because there's plays to be made when you can get out of the pocket at times. Even Lamar done started getting outside of the pocket and still throwing the ball. But he ain't just working exclusively from the pocket. But after I saw that motherfucker beat us the second time, I was like, and what's scary is I knew he was going to lose, because Jalen Hurts just was not nowhere near as good as Deshaun Watson. And this is what I tell y'all about quarterbacks, bro, and about teams that can win, because they are a good team, because their quarterback is a decent, but he's not a quarterback that can lift his team above like the chaos and win. That's what I tell y'all about Baker all the time. Jalen Hurts he was a great game manager, and he never had been asked to really be bigger than a game manager, because he never had to, because our defense always did their job, the running backs always did their job, and all that type of shit. Even though more so in college, that's more so to do with the competition, not because dudes can do their job. It's because usually you're playing against a bunch of dudes who not going to be in the NFL, at least not going to be starters. But what happens when the game get rough? What happens when the defense can't do their job? What happens when the running backs ain't doing their job? What happens when the receivers don't do their job? That's when Jalen Hurts got to do his job at a accelerated or a premium level, at an ultra level. And Jalen Hurts couldn't do that, even though I had already knew that, because he was a run-first quarterback. His first read don't work, he run the ball. Most of his big plays through the air was on dudes who was wide the fuck open. Clemson was starting to have a defense with a bunch of NFL players on it, and he could not do that shit against them. They played him way better. They was able to shut him out. And when it came time for him to make big plays against Deshaun Watson, the dude who I had already realized was about to be a great quarterback on the next level, he couldn't do it. Deshaun Watson always was able to step up above the occasion. And Deshaun Watson won Clemson that national championship game. So, I was like, this is the guy. What do the Bears do? Draft a fucking quarterback we hadn't even heard about the entire fucking year in Mitchell Trubisky. How can you be such incompetent at your job that Deshaun Watson is right fucking there and you still decide to take Mitchell Trubisky? How do you make that decision? How do you get away with that decision after the first year of Deshaun Watson? So, the Bears need to fire the entire fucking staff. To me, that is the only way you turn around this curse. Well, it was not even a curse. That's the only way Justin Fields can reach his full potential. Is if you start all over, because you know you got your quarterback now. These last two games should show you, yeah, he's going to be the guy for Chicago for a long time. Now let this dude get a head coach in the offseason that he can fuck with, that he can vibe with. Eric Bieniemy need to be on call. Even though, you know what, let me slow down on the Eric Bieniemy thing, bro, because I really want to see, because I told y'all, I give the credit for that offense to what's the man's name? And not Andy Reid. I give it to Bieniemy. I know a lot of people be trying to get that shit to Andy Reid. Like, Andy Reid, not the person who I give the credit for the offense. I give Bieniemy the credit for that offense. And the offense for the Chiefs the last couple of weeks been looking pretty rocky. Like, motherfucker Patrick Mahomes do not throw the ball down the field right now. He's dinking and dunk, putting on a dink and dunk special for you motherfuckers over there in Kansas City. And I done seen people calling him out now because you got no choice when you so publicly call him out and claim that he the greatest of all fucking time every day. Well, now the motherfucker consistently showing you he done been. And I saw somebody today, and I think it was Keyshawn, who was like, yo, Patrick Mahomes is playing below average. Like, he's a below average quarterback right now. It just is what it is, and that is true. I also saw somebody say, even though I didn't need to see them say this because I had already said it, and I already had legit made a slide about it, where I was like, Patrick Mahomes is pretty much and I even said it on the podcast, Patrick Mahomes has become the problem with the Chiefs offense also. Like, people can keep saying, oh, well, the defense done got better. The defense been playing against bad offenses the last couple weeks, and they got lucky against the not having to play Aaron Rodgers. Even though, no, they didn't get lucky. Aaron Rodgers brought that on himself. So for anybody who want to say, oh, Justin Fields, I mean, not Justin Fields. For anybody who want to say, oh, Jordan Love was trash. Oh, he was bad, blah, blah, blah. Facts. He was bad. I don't know what the fuck they've been doing with Justin Fields. I don't know what the fuck they've been doing with Jordan Love over there in that first whole year. And so far this year in training camps and practice and all that shit. Maybe they just got that motherfucker looking at Aaron every damn practice. I don't know. Because I ain't seen a quarterback look this unready to be a quarterback to start in a long time. As far as this season, easily was the most unprepared looking quarterback to start the season. Like, Justin Fields didn't even look this bad. But Justin Fields didn't look bad. Well, Justin Fields did look bad in his first start. But if you go back and look at that game, you could tell it was play calling that was hurting him a lot in that game. You could tell that they wasn't calling plays for him because, like, even when you don't trust them, that's still who the fuck you gotta try to win with right now. So it would be in your best interest. And if that's gonna be the dude you starting in the future, motherfucker, let's go ahead and start building some trust, goddammit. Like, what does it matter if you don't trust me now? Duh. It's like when motherfucking jobs be like, do you have any experience? No, motherfucker. I'm trying to gain it. Like, what? Now, granted, I have a ton of job experience now, but when you a first-time worker and you put that on the application, the motherfucker, do you have any job experience? No, motherfucker. That's why I'm here, so I can gain it. And if you don't hire me, then the next motherfucker gonna ask me the same bozo-ass question, and I'm gonna give him the same answer. So obviously you don't trust him because you motherfucker had never started with him. But why do you draft him and you have him in training camp and shit if you're not learning to trust him? So I don't know what the fuck been going on with Jordan Love in training camp and practice and all that. But he looked as unprepared as anybody. But it didn't look because of the play calling. He was missing throws. And it was multiple throws there to be had. And he was overthrowing, underthrowing, throwing too wide, too light. He looked bad. I'm not going to stunt with you. And then the win he finally did score was because Swanson really done went down. But Swanson probably shouldn't even be on a team right now. So I don't know how he's still with the Chiefs right now. It done got really bad. But I guess because they saying to themselves, everybody's so bad that we can't just single him out. But you definitely can single out Swanson. Swanson done been by far the worst player on that defense, bro. Yeah, everybody done been bad. But Swanson done been a different level of bad, bro. He's been atrocious. So that's the only score that he really got. And it wasn't because of him. It was because dude made Swanson. It was because Swanson was being Swanson. But aside from that, I mean, and Matt LaFleur took ownership of it in the postgame, which he should have. Hey, I know a lot of people want to show him some respect for taking blame, especially when you got bozos like Matt Nagy, who really don't take the blame for nothing, but do take the credit when things go right. So I guess you could respect that. But I mean, also, yeah, you should take credit because you didn't have them prepared. But you know what? Nah. This different situation. I'm thinking about a whole different situation because this is not that type of situation. He should not have taken credit. No, he should have, because that's a good coach. What a good coach gonna do. You don't want to throw your player under the bus, Doc Rivers, but you don't want to throw your player under the bus. But this was not on Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur did not call a overcomplicated game plan. He didn't call a bunch of plays that showed he had no trust in them. It was plays there to be had. It was single coverage on Devontae Adams multiple times. Jordan Love just didn't look good. Him himself. It had nothing to do with the play calling and everything around him. Dudes was healthy. He had a good enough team. His defense played great. No excuses. Jordan Love looked bad and unprepared. But I was originally saying, if you can be mad at him for all that, and you can critique him and criticize him for all that, blah blah blah. You can. I agree. But on the flip side, you also have to critique and criticize Aaron Rodgers, because that motherfucker could have been here. Listen, I done said it. You want to get vaxxed? You don't want to get vaxxed? That's your choice. I do not give a damn. That is not me. You got to go do your research on it. That is everybody's personal decision. However, in the situation that Aaron Rodgers is in, he had a decision to make. He could have told them that he was not vaccinated and done everything that unvaccinated players do. It was a route for him to take in this. And even though he don't think he lied, it looks as though he lied when he said, instead of saying he was unvaccinated, he said he was immunized. Immunized. I don't know. It's like you got to be prepared when you say that word. You can't just be going on with a sentence and not knowing how to say that word, because it's going to fuck up the sentence and shit like that. That's why all that bullshit a couple seconds ago sounded like that, because I was trying to finish my sentence with the word, but then I realized, okay, I just got to stop and say this word. Immunized. But when he said that, he knew that meant he wasn't vaccinated. So that is lying, basically. And also, he did shit that unvaccinated players would do. I mean, that vax players would do. So that gave off the look that he was vaccinated. So I understand his decision. I'm not arguing his decision and everything like that. I get that. I'm not even arguing some of the goofy facts and stuff like that. I mean, not facts. I'm not. His opinion is one thing. I'm not arguing none of his opinions as far as why he is unvaccinated. I don't care about it. The stuff that he was basically saying, you have to go do your own research. I don't say nobody should believe just what come out of anybody's mouth. Him being vaccinated and not being vaccinated is completely his is up to him. That is his body, his choice. I agree with that. But like I said, if that was his decision to be unvaccinated, he could have told them he was unvaccinated when they... Now, this is the one thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I could care less that he told the media and them shits. Cause yeah, technically he did lie and all that. I don't give a fuck that he told the media that, to be honest with you. I'm not even mad about the situation at all, to be honest with you. Maybe I got some certain problems with it. Because ultimately, yes, he did lie. My thing is, that's not the fucking media's business, in my opinion. Now, some people going to say it is. They're going to give you all these expert reasons that they done concocted and that them and the homies done concocted on why it is the media's business. But ultimately, his medical decisions are not anybody else's fucking decisions. So if he felt like he needed to lie in that, for one, I would have just said that's my personal decision. And you can think whatever the fuck you want to think after that. Because they was going to put 2 and 2 together anyways. If I'm always wearing a mask around and shit like that, they was going to try to guess that I was unvaccinated anyways. Or they was just going to say that I was unvaccinated. So he could have just said that. But what he basically said led them to believe that he was vaccinated. Now, it would be some people out there who say, well, if they had just went and looked up the word for immunized, then they would have known that he wasn't vaccinated. I don't know. That, like I said, do your own research. However, he did basically lie. Now, like I said, I don't give a fuck that he lied to the media because it ain't the media's fucking business. I don't think they should be able to ask that question in the first place. Now, some people going to say, well, that's got a lot to do with football, even though I would say, what the fuck do that got to do with football? People going to say, well, if he ain't vaccinated, then that can do things to the team and stuff like that. If you're unvaccinated and vaccinated, like I said, do your own research. I believe it's rules in place where regardless of what you believe, it is rules in place so that this did not have to happen for Aaron Rodgers, from what they're saying. Vaccinated players don't have to be out as long. So that will be one of the benefits of vaccination if you say so. And on top of that, because I got to make sure I don't go down the wrong road on this, because this is not about to get political and shit like this. Do your own research. The only thing I'm saying that I have a actual opinion on is him getting vaccinated, not getting vaccinated. Absolutely don't have a problem with that. That's his body, his choice. Could give a fuck less. What you should not be thinking. You should not have a strong opinion on what people is doing to their bodies, bro. It's just as simple as that, bro. Just because you do something to your body, don't mean somebody else. You could throw all the facts in the world around. It's just not gonna matter at the end of the day to certain people. It does not. I just don't understand. And what's funny to me is people will be like, these motherfuckers already, I remember at one point in time, you already got motherfuckers who don't give a fuck about the government, don't trust the government, don't believe anything the government say. And then you got people who come out and be like, well, this is CDC approved, the government approved it. Okay, because the government approved it, now they gonna put it in them. What the fuck are you talking about? They already always talking about they don't trust the government and shit like that. Y'all thought it was funny when they was saying that before. Now they legitimately showing you that they meant what they was saying, and now we mad. Well, now y'all mad. Come on, man. You can't have it both ways, bro. You just can't have it both ways, bro. Respect other people's what they want to do with their bodies, bro. It's not your body. If you feel like the vaccine and all the research you done told you that the vaccine is what's best for you, then fuck, get the vaccine. If you're not sure on what you've seen from the research and whatnot, then fuck. Dude, don't get it if you don't feel like you should get it. Now, if you one of them motherfuckers who ain't done no absolute research at all and you just saying shit to be saying shit, just shut the fuck up. Alright? Now, that actually is a problem. Or, if you just want to keep your shit private, don't say shit at all. But, in Aaron Rodgers' situation, like I said, if you're going to be mad at Jordan Love, you got to be mad at Aaron Rodgers, because he could have been there. And he's not. So, like I said, from what they were saying, it was multiple ways he could have been there this Sunday. And because of his decisions, he wasn't. Like I said, respect his decisions, but because of his decisions, he ain't there. You know what? I should have said that from the rip, and that could have avoided a whole diatribe, like 8-minute diatribe just now, if I had just said that from the rip. My mind works so slow sometimes. Absolutely unbelievable. But, like I said, his decision is his decision, but his decision also had consequences, and the consequences, they lost a game that they would have won if he was there. There's no two ways around it. The Packers beat the Kansas City Chiefs Sunday if he is there. There's no two ways around it. The Chiefs are a bad team. I said that before. They are a bad team. It's time to accept that. And what's crazy about it is their entire division is looking pretty bad right. The Chargers done lost 2 games in a row. The Raiders just lost to the fucking Giants. it's the Broncos just fucking beat the Cowboys. Like, what's going on? Dak came back, couldn't even score. Don't look at them garbage points. Dak was back on that bullshit this Sunday with the garbage yards and empty calories. He was back on that. But what's going on, man? I'm gonna just take it as a blimp, bro. To be honest with you, I'm not looking too heavy into it. Like I said, good teams gonna have bad weeks here and there, bro. It happens. That's what I'm taking it as for the Cowboys. Like, I'm not gonna look too deep into it. I just think the Cowboys had an off week. Dak came back after not playing last week. He just needed to get his bearings. Ain't that what they say? He needed to get his bearings about him. I don't think there's nothing wrong. I think Dak gonna be fine. Zeke and them boys gonna be fine, man. I think it was just one of them games, man. Just one of them games where everything go wrong. Everything go wrong. It just is what it is. Cowboy fans shouldn't even be worried, because I still like Cowboys as far as like that team. I still like it. It's just you gonna have some people who panic and who gonna be extra critical for some odd reason, because they've been sitting around waiting for the Cowboys to lose. Like, that is very weird. Like, I hate the Cleveland Browns. I don't even hate the Cleveland Browns. I just don't like Baker Mayfield. But I don't sit around waiting for that motherfucker to lose. I just watch the games. And if he lose, yeah, I'm going to talk about it. If he win and look bad in the win, I'm still talking. If the motherfucker happen to look good in the win, I'm going to suck it up and eat my words. And I'm probably going to still throw a little shade at the end of it. But I'm going to just say he had a good game. It's not that hard, bro. I'm not sitting back waiting for this motherfucker to lose. For one, because I know what Baker is. If, like I told y'all before, if I would be wrong, I would easily change that opinion. The Cowboys are not the same team from the last 2 years or so. And people refuse to believe that for some reason. So they just sit around waiting for them motherfuckers to lose. That shit is weird as fuck. Like, and now you got motherfuckers talking about, oh, the Cowboys, the same old Cowboys. Bro, the Bills just lost to the Jaguars, bro. The Jaguars. What are you talking about? They were supposed to smack the Jags. The Jags haven't won a game in America, bro. Urban Meyer hadn't won a game at home, bro. And Josh Allen went in there and got fucked up by Josh Allen and the motherfucking Jaguars. But you can't make this shit up. I'm really starting to believe any given Sunday. No, I'm not. Bills just had a bad game, but the Bills having a lot of bad games lately. They're just able to get through it. This one unexcusable though. Obviously, I'm not making. I can't give them no excuse for the Jags. It's just like if Baltimore lose to the Miami Dolphins last week, I have no excuses for the Ravens, bro. It's no fucking way in hell we should lose to the Dolphins. The Dolphins is the game that made me realize Lamar Jackson was that dude. Because the first 2 years ago, his MVP season, he mopped the Dolphins that first game. Him and Hollywood had they breakout games against the Dolphins. And even though the Dolphins have played good the last 2 weeks, it is no excuse for Baltimore to lose to the fucking Dolphins. No excuse. You're not going to see me even come on here and try to make an excuse. I'm going to be livid. But I expect us to win that fucking game. So I'm not finna sit on here and give Josh Allen no excuse. Because obviously I love Josh Allen. I'm not finna give him an excuse though. That was rough. But, hey, every good team has a bad game. Now, I just said I wasn't going to give him an excuse. And that's not an excuse. That's just reality, bro. Now, like I said, there is no fucking way you should. This should not be your bad game. The fucking Jags should not. It was 9-6, bruh. 9-6. What? Like, this is absolutely the worst possible game they could have. They should just burn this tape. This is like one of them shits where they be like, this is a burn the tape game. This is a burn the fucking tape game. Like, burn the fucking tape, bruh. Like, what tape? What? I don't even know. I don't even know tape exists. You gotta wipe that out your memory, bruh. I don't know how this happens, bruh. I don't know how this happens. That's wild. That's probably the biggest upset probably in a while. Gotta be. I gotta check that out. That's gotta be one of the biggest upsets in a while, bro. That's pretty nuts. I cannot believe the fucking Jags won that game. I'm happy that Trevor Lawrence got this win on his system because now he feel like this win should do a lot for him. I mean, it wouldn't do nothing for me because just knowing the type of person I am, if we already sucked and we ended up winning the game against a good team 6-9, I'm not going to be excited after that game. I'm not going to lie, bro. It's going to be hard just knowing how I am, bro. Because I'm one of them motherfuckers who hate ugly wins too, bro. Like, I really hate ugly wins. Because I'm a highly critical type of person as far as, like, how good. I'm kind of OCD about being a perfectionist. And I know you can't be perfect and all that bullshit, but you can be damn near close. And so if we win a game and we look like pure shit throughout the entire game, I'm going to be bummed out about that shit. Like, I'm going to be like, we should have lost. That's probably what I'm going to say. And so if I'm the Jags, I'm not enthused by that. Like, yeah, you happy for a quick second because you relieved that you finally got a win at home and in America. But other than that, once I get to that locker room, I'm probably like, bro, we just put up 9 points, bro. Like, we played bad. They just played somehow worse. Like, somehow these motherfuckers played worse. The only motherfuckers that's going to be happy is the defense. Like, that's the thing. If I was a defensive player, I'd be geeked. If I'm an offensive player, it's specifically if I'm the quarterback, it's just no fucking shot. Like, I'm sitting there thinking, like, bruh, I put up 9 points. What the fuck? Like I said, man, Urban Meyer and that stupid-ass coaching staff is holding Trevor Lawrence back. And now, you gotta really look at that defense, to be completely honest with you, after this type of game, and say, okay, who actually works on this defense? Like, I'll say this, in a game like that, when that score is that low, yeah, you do gotta give the defense some credit. So I'm definitely looking at the Jags defense now, saying to myself, or if I'm one of the people, the owners, because I fired a lot of people after the season. It's not going to happen, but I'm just telling you what I would do if I was a Jag, if I was the owner and in front of. So I'm looking at this game, and I'm looking at these defensive players saying, damn, they just shut out one of the best, like, they just not shut out, but they just severely fucked up one of the best offenses in football, one of the better quarterbacks in football. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, I need to study this tape because I need to see what worked, because this is the best they will look, right? So let me see what's everything that worked great? What's every player that looked, what did they do great? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to see what take from this game, because this is the best game they done had so far defensively, I guess you could say. And so you need to take this game, they second and third best defensive games, compare and contrast on what worked. And then you need to take the 3 worst games they done played defensively at the end of the season. What didn't work? And that's how you going to, know who need to stay, who you need to bring over, and all yada, yada, yada for the defense. For this offense, I could care less if you get rid of every single fucking person on this offense, except for the running backs. The running backs is the only dudes who I would actually give a chance to. DJ Chark, I probably would give a second chance to be honest with you. I can't even remember if he's playing right now. I like their running backs. I'm going to be honest with you. The running backs are not that bad. Play calling really be fucking them running backs up sometimes. But when the running backs see them holes and they get the holes and they get good, the running backs for the Jags is pretty decent. I'm not going to lie. The Jags running backs could work. They not the problem. Trevor Lawrence is not the problem because, like I said, he's a rookie. The problem is, and yeah, he do throw bad interceptions sometimes. Like I said, he's a rookie. Get over that. It's got to happen for them to become great. The fucking play calling does nothing for them. Nothing for him. Well, my fucking man, I'm telling you, dog, that they need to get Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence need to get the reset button pushed on that coaching staff in the front office. If both of those things happen, I'm telling you, both of these teams will quickly start to find success. The Jags and the Bears will not be laughing. The Bears not going to be a laughing stock anyways because Justin Herbert is it. I mean, not Justin Herbert. Justin Fields is it. Like, they're not going to be a laughing stock. Justin Fields is going to be watchable the rest of the season to see his growth and development against all these odds. and he's going to be that guy going forward. I'm telling you, the Bears ain't going to suck, and they ain't going to be no laughing stock, especially with Aaron Rodgers getting close to the end of his time. The Bears are about to run that fucking division. I'm telling you right now. The Bears are going to run it. And this is also going to become a Chicago Bear channel in the future. I'm just going to let you know that right now. I'm already a Baltimore Ravens fan. I've been a Baltimore Ravens fan my whole life. But we got Lamar Jackson now, so that make it even better to be a Baltimore Ravens fan because I love that man to death. But I love Justin Fields, bro. And I'm going to tell you right now, bro. We rep most of the black quarterbacks around here, bro. Not Teddy Midwater because he's trash. But we fuck with Justin Fields, bro. I said it on the podcast last week that Justin Fields is it, bro. That he is something about him, bro. Like he's it. Well, I know after this game, Justin Fields is it, bro. And once he get a play caller and a head coach over there that's working toe-and-toe with him, not against him, that motherfucker gonna take off. I'm telling you, Chicago is about to have a resurrection because of this man. But that same thing could happen for the Jaguars if they fucking fire Urban Meyer and that doofus ass coaching staff and shit, bruh. The only person who I would even consider keeping is the defense. But I can't even say that because, I mean, look what they did last week. They made fucking Geno Smith look like Geno Smith from Virginia, West Virginia, bruh. So I would even fire him, to be completely honest with you. I would start all over. Let Trevor Lawrence go get his offensive head coach. Let Trevor Lawrence pick his next head coach. But his next head coach need to be an offensive-minded head coach because you need to be trying to get... And then you just go hire a proven defensive coordinator, bro. Because, no, actually, you can't even do that. You need to really sit down and see what coordinators do the best, work the best with that defense after you do the 3 best videos, 3 worst games, the 3 best games, and see what your defense did best. You need to go find a defensive coordinator to sit down and also look at that and see what he can do. Because you're not trying to change the whole system and shit. Like, you're not trying to have a whole bunch of players that's already signed for a long term or going to be there for a while and then change the entire system and have to make them relearn everything. That's not what you're trying to do. What you're trying to do is get somebody who can improve upon these dudes already. Not dudes who is just stagnant, who don't provide anything to the team. Urban Meyer. So I will continue to say that. But I do believe Justin Fields is in just as bad a situation now. Not as just as bad a situation, but he's got just as bad a fucking incompetent, or if not, is more incompetent head coach and staff. Because for one, I would also fire that defensive coordinator at this point. Because for one, Chicago in the offseason should really think about moving a lot of players on that defense. Because for one, Robert Quinn, I like Robert Quinn. It ain't no fucking way you on my team after 2 offsides and you a vet. I cannot have this, bro. It's no way. It's other veterans out there who going to produce for me and never make that type of mistake, bro. You're never worried about Calais Campbell making that mistake, bro. Calais Campbell probably don't get the sacks that he used to get, but you never worried about Calais Campbell picking up flags and penalties and shit like that. I don't even know if Calais Campbell done been flagged this season, bro. So I can't have my vets doing that. I can have my rookies doing that shit here and there, not my vets, bro. So that's the first thing. If I'm Chicago, it's a lot of dudes on the defense that's done ran its course with him. Maybe Akeem Hicks is probably at the end of his road there. It's probably now. I don't know if you let Khalil Mack go or whatnot, but this is all what I'm gonna say. The goal for Chicago in the offseason should be to build around Justin Fields, right? It should be to make Justin Fields better. It should be to get Justin Fields to his full potential. I understand you want to have a good defense, and maybe that means keeping some guys. But you want to bring in Jimmy Graham ain't getting it done for you no more. Jimmy Graham ain't been getting it done for a team since he left New Orleans the first time, bro. It's time to go get another tight end. I don't know if that's through the draft. I don't know if that's in free agency, if it's one out there. I don't know if that's through a trade. Zach Ertz would have been a pretty good trade. I don't know if it's through a trade, but you need to go get another tight end. That's a reliable tight. Jimmy Graham should not be your starting tight end at this point. There's no shot. So you need to go get the man a tight end. I like Allen Robinson. I believe Allen Robinson would be committed to staying now that Justin Fields is there if he knows a head coach that is going to help on his development and whatnot. I don't know why he would want to leave this situation now. So I would try to get Allen Robinson re-signed to a long-term deal. And if you have better play calling, Allen Robinson would be a part of this offense. Don't tell me Justin Fields can't make the throws. He can make the throws. You need an offensive coordinator who believes in him and who draws up plays for him. Like Greg Roman started to believe in, finally started to call plays for Lamar Jackson. All you need is the opportunity. That's all he need, and he not getting that opportunity right now with such bad play calling. And your fucking offensive coordinator and your head coach don't fucking call good plays for you till the end of the game when it's damn near over. Like it's unbelievable, bro. So you need to re-sign Allen Robinson. Do not undersell that man's value. He was a great receiver when you had no good quarterback. Why do you think he would just suddenly be a bad and if anything, go get Odell Beckham. Now listen, I really want Odell in Baltimore. I bro. I believe Odell and Lamar Jackson would be absolutely unstoppable, along with Marquise Brown. Bro, if you had fucking Rashad Bateman and Odell on the outside, Marquise Brown on the inside with fucking Mark Andrews, nobody's stopping that, bro. Nobody's stopping that, bro. So Baltimore Raven fans who don't like believing in anything or don't like hoping for anything because you done had your feelings hurt or your dreams crushed so many times so you done stop believing, so you don't like to fantasize over stuff like, fuck you. If you got that right there, ain't nobody stopping that. Ain't nobody stopping that. Fuck a running game. Nobody stopping that receiving core right there, bro. So Chicago need to think about going and getting Odell and talking him into trying to go there. Because listen, I done read the report where Odell it would be a problem if a bad team tried to sign him, as it should be. A bad team should not be trying to go out and getting Odell Beckham unless. And I would even say the Jaguars shouldn't be going to get him, because if I'm Odell, I'm not signing with the Jags while Urban Meyer's there. That's one. I would sign with the Bears, but I need to know that Matt Nagy is getting fired in the offseason. Because if you tell me that he's not getting fired in the offseason, it's no shot that I'm going there. Because he's going to stunt Justin Fields' growth, and I cannot be a part of that. If I'm Odell Beckham, I already know Lamar Jackson going to flourish. I will sign with him in a heartbeat. And he done made all these improvements. I'm signing with him in a heartbeat. I know he works with his receivers. I know he's dedicated to getting better because he showed every year. So I want to see him go to a team with a good quarterback that's a contender. And even though Chicago ain't a contender right now, Chicago's upside with Justin Fields is so massive that is no shot that I wouldn't consider going to Chicago. But I think you got to get rid of all these bozos on the staff over there, bro. You got to start fresh so Justin Fields can get his own head coach. And that's why I liked Eric Bieniemy at first. But if this is truly his offensive play calling these last couple of weeks for the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm over it. I'm over it. I don't want to see Justin Fields being forced to dink and dunk the majority of a game, bro. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see him be reduced to that. I want to see an offensive coordinator who want to grow and get him to push the ball down the field because he can. He even showed you he elusive, bro. I said it the last couple of weeks, bro. He faster than you think. I don't think he Lamar Jackson fast, but he is faster than you think. He can get around that corner and shit. So the Bears got huge upside. The Bears about to be legit, bro. The Bears are about to be fucking legit, bro. There's no two ways around it, bro. And then, I mean, you look at a fucking team like Carolina, right? Who should have fucking, instead of fucking signing Teddy Bridgewater and shit, you probably should have been trying to move up in the draft to get a Justin Fields. And I don't even remember if I got to go back and check if they had the opportunity. I don't think they had the chance to get Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields was drafted pretty high. But Carolina fucking getting Sam Darnold, bro, like he was the stopgap, bro. Like they thought Sam Darnold was gonna be it, bro. And I told y'all from the first game of the fucking season, Sam Darnold is the same Sam Darnold, bro. I'm watching these games. They just playing against badder teams, bro. And boy, would you look at what's fucking going on. I told you last week that he was probably going to not turn into. He's been the same Sam Darnold to me. I told you last week that bruh had his number, and that's the game where he said he was seeing ghosts. So I wouldn't be shocked if he fucked around and had a bad game in this one again. And would you look at that? He had a bad game. I even said it wouldn't really make a difference if Mac Jones had a good game or not. Would you look at that? It didn't. Because Sam Darnold is Sam Darnold, bruh. But he especially becomes bad when he plays against Bill Belichick for some reason. Hey, I try to tell you Carolina fans, I get on here and say you cursed every week, bro. It's out of control at this point in time. You're never getting Deshaun Watson, bro. I don't think Deshaun Watson's going there. Now, if you're willing to trade Christian McCaffrey, now we might be talking about something a little bit different, because, see, that would be an extremely smart decision. Christian McCaffrey went over 100-something yards or some shit like that, I believe, total yards in his game back last week. Doesn't matter. Christian McCaffrey has shown that he's injury prone at this point. And like I said before, you can't build your team around a running back, even if it's a running back. Is good. Listen, Le'Veon Bell at the height of his career wasn't getting the Steelers in the fucking Super Bowl. Do you think Christian McCaffrey, who is injury prone, is? I mean, he is as injury prone as Le'Veon was. And I don't think he done been better than Le'Veon, because I still think Le'Veon, when he was in his prime, is better than, I would take him over Christian McCaffrey. Easily. Fast. Not even a decision. 10 out of 10 times. You be like, oh, Christian McCaffrey could catch. Yeah, Le'Veon Bell was the one who did it better, though. And was a better runner. So, I mean, if Carolina say we'll trade Christian McCaffrey, somebody in that organization starting to think a little bit. That's what that would tell me. Because that would be an extremely smart fleece. That would be a smart fleece. Houston would be a bunch of bozos to make a trade for Deshaun Watson for a running back. I wouldn't trade Deshaun Watson for Derrick Henry, bruh. No. I want draft compensation, and I want your first round pick. Deshaun Watson would easily be able to get a first round pick off of somebody. Especially if you had traded him before all the allegations came out. But if he beat these allegations, he definitely going to be worth a first round pick, because then nobody going to be worried about what's happening to him, because he's going to be clean. You can definitely fleece a first round pick off of somebody and just keep adding first round picks. It's your job to capitalize on the picks. Now, don't be dumbasses and start asking for everybody, oh, I want 2 firsts, 2 seconds. What? No, motherfucker. No. The motherfucker already showing us he won't play for you. Like, the motherfucker legit sat out. He said he was going to sit out. He sat out. And I don't want to hear, oh, it's because of the case. I don't want to hear that, because the NFL done said he could play. He choosing not to. So this was a game he was clearly willing to play. And y'all can't even find him, the motherfucker. You can't even find him. So, listen, them motherfuckers could have... the Panthers done had ways. I don't think they're going to end up getting Deshaun Watson. But they've had ways to get better quarterbacks, to get draft picks and draft compensation to get a quarterback. Now you probably gonna see them try to. You're gonna probably see them motherfuckers try to make a stretch or a play to try to get Aaron Rodgers in the offseason. They might try to get Deshaun Watson again. I don't believe. Now listen, the only reason people even keep connecting Deshaun Watson there is because he played at Clemson, bro, which is in North Carolina. That's the only reason people keep connecting him there. If not for that, they would not continue to connect Deshaun Watson to Carolina, bro. And because Sam Darnold is trash. But Carolina should have to pay for that, because Sam Darnold didn't do shit in New York to prove that he should have gotten another shot, and that he was not the only reason they sucked, that it was all on Adam Gase. Oh, it was all Adam Gase. It wasn't never Sam Darnold. Okay, because they, like I keep telling y'all, they don't give Lamar Jackson credit for nothing he do. Nothing he do they give him credit for, but they gave Sam Darnold no credit for nothing he did. In a different way. See, all he did was bad. All Lamar Jackson did was good. They said Lamar couldn't have been the reason they doing all this winning, even though all the stats said he was the reason they was winning and all that. And then they say Sam Darnold can't be the reason they losing, even though all the stats say that he was one of the biggest reasons they was losing and all that. Turnover prone and all that. Daniel Jones, turnover prone and all that. People. Now listen, the Giants got a good win over the Raiders this weekend. Don't know what the fuck. Actually, I do know what the fuck is wrong with the Raiders. The Raiders they're missing, coincidentally, Henry Ruggs. they need to go. The Raiders should probably make a trade. I mean, not make a trade. They should try to go get Odell Beckham off of waivers, bro. Because listen, I think Odell gonna get claimed by a good team. Like, I know trash ass teams get the first dibs, and I think that's a stupid fucking rule. Like, when you get released, you should not be put on waivers. You should be a free agent, decide who can choose what team he wants to go to, bro. The NFL got so many of these archaic slave rules, bro. Like, how the fuck is this a rule? When I get released, I gotta go on waivers to be claimed? Are you fucking serious? Like, bruh, the NFL is so, man, I'm telling you, the NFL got some janky ass, stupid ass rules. But with that being said, Odell should probably the Raiders should try to claim that motherfucker off waivers if they can, because they missing a dude who could take the top off of a defense. They missing a receiver that's as good as Odell Beckham Jr., bro. Because listen, I love Darren Waller, but like I said, a tight end can't be the only reason that you move. They can't be the best, the only good receiver on the offense, bro. Like, because teams can eventually start to key in on that shit. But if I'm Odell, that would be a team that I would want to sign with too, because Derek Carr good. But I mean, it's a good win for the Giants, man. But I just think that's one of the Raiders having a letdown game, and the Raiders should have. Because I read a report today, they released some other dude today because he was making threats or some shit. Like, the Raiders can't catch a break right now, bro. So that's like 3 people they done released in the last month: Gruden, Ruggs, all dudes doing shit to get themselves released. It's not even the Raiders' fault, bro. So the fact that they even keep winning through all this is amazing to me. But shit, man, the fortitude and the willpower on the dudes on that team, man, is commendable, bro. Has to be commended, bro. Them motherfuckers going through all this shit and still staying strong, playing football games and shit. Finally lost. Like, credit to the Raiders, bro. But I think they should make a play to try to get Odell, because Odell would definitely wake up that offense. And that's what Darren, for one, Derek Carr, I done said it before. I love Derek Carr. I done said it before, though. Derek Carr kind of one of them type quarterbacks who do get real pass heavy. He ain't nothing like Matthew Stafford. Bruh, Cooper Kupp got 70-something receptions. The next person got like 40-something. And it's not because Cooper Kupp better than none of them receivers. I think Cooper Kupp is a great receiver. I like Cooper Kupp, bruh. But Jesus fucking Christ, bruh. Matthew Stafford done this before, bruh. We've seen Matthew Stafford do this multiple times, bruh. Where he just forced the ball to a receiver so much, bruh. He don't care about the coverage. Literally, it become to the point where the offensive coordinator said, I mean, fuck it. He don't throw it to nobody else anyways. I might as well just draw up plays just for the fucking Cooper Kupp. That's what this is. Like, Cooper Kupp is a good receiver. I'm not lying to you. He is a good receiver. But if you sit here and just take them stats off of just looking at stats and think that Cooper Kupp is just by far the best receiver in the league, you're drunk. Cooper Kupp is not better than A.J. Brown. Cooper Kupp is not better than A.J. Green. He healthier than Julio Jones. Like, Cooper Kupp is a good receiver, don't get me wrong. He's not better than DeAndre Hopkins. He's not better than Stephon Diggs, bro. He just get the ball thrown to him so fucking much, bro. And I'm not trying to take a shot at Cooper Kupp, because I like Cooper Kupp, bro. But I'm just telling you, stats is deceiving. Matthew Stafford done this before with a dude who actually was a phenomenal receiver in Calvin Johnson. But I'm just telling you, bro, I done seen this before. The seasons before Calvin Johnson set that record, Matthew Stafford was still force feeding him the ball in bad situations and at bad times. The motherfucker was throwing balls in the triple and quadruple coverage and shit, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on. Like, it's got to be something. Like, somebody got to say something about that, bro. Like, because it's just crazy, bro. And fucking speaking of Cooper Kupp, the Rams lost to the fucking Titans on Sunday Night Football. And I tried to tell people, listen, the Titans was not dead yet, bro. If Tannehill can step up, bro, with the receivers that he got, they can win games. Listen, I don't believe they're going to get a shit ton of production from AP, Adrian Peterson. But I think he'll be decent for him. They can get some production out of it. If you're a good running team, you should be able to replace the running backs, but I know it's not going to be it's not easy to replace Derrick Henry. You're not replacing Derrick Henry. Just like Baltimore clearly is not replacing Mixon. Not replacing Dobbins or Edwards. Clearly, you will not be replacing Derrick Henry. But you should be able to still have some semblance of a running game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't just fall off a fucking cliff. just because Derrick Henry got. Like, you not going to be nowhere near. You probably going to drop 50% of what you was. But to just not be able to run the ball anymore would just be outrageous. So, yeah, I just felt like people was. And listen, Tannehill's not even that great. He still hasn't put on a great game yet. But just wait till that motherfucker do, bro. I'm just telling you. Now, I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl. I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl. But the AFC is wide open right now. Like, any team could really win right now. Right now, what you're looking at in the AFC is quarterbacks and coaching. Either a coach going to coach his ass off or a quarterback going to play his ass off. There's no way in between. But I already told you. I think the Super Bowl is going to be either Patrick Mahomes and them boys are going to figure it out somehow, some way, even though that's a trash team right now. But that's just a shot in the dark. I'm not going to be no pussy and pick that team. The three teams that I see getting to the Super Bowl in the AFC that I'm saying with my chest is either Derek Carr, Lamar Jackson, or Josh Allen. And the Josh Allen pick kind of scared me after them some bitches just lost to the motherfucking Jaguars. But I'm not going to be no bitch and pick the Chiefs just as backup, and so just so a motherfucker can't come to me and be like, oh, well, you thought you counted out Patrick Mahomes. You damn right, bro. As bad as they look, bro, I'm going with my instinct, bro. I picked them to lose to the Packers, and they even should have fucking lost to the Packers, but I did not know Jordan Love was going to be that bad, bro. Like, it's no shot that I thought he was going to be that bad, bro. And I want to say something else, bro. Because I was looking at the Baltimore Raven game. Obviously, I was watching that game. But I was looking at some people tweet about how like they was trying to talk shit to, about how Lamar won that game. Lamar had like 500 plus yards of offense in that game. And some dude was like, yeah, he still threw 2 picks against a bad. He was a Minnesota fan. And he basically tried to make himself feel better. He was like, well, Lamar still threw 2 picks against a bad Minnesota. For one, this notion that Minnesota's a bad team is a lie. They haven't lost by more than a touchdown all season. They keep losing close games. They're 3-5 or 3-6 in those games now. So Minnesota's not a bad team. So the fact that he tried to use that as a cop-out to make himself sleep better at night is moronic. Second, the fact that he wanted to take a shot at Lamar Jackson, like every quarterback, like Kirk Cousins don't throw picks or some shit, or like I haven't seen Peyton Manning throw like 5 picks in a game, or like fucking Tom Brady against the Packers last year in the NFC Championship didn't throw about 4 picks. Like, for some reason, when people want to use those, not to mention one of those picks wasn't Lamar Jackson's fault. I get on here and tell y'all every time when picks ain't players' fault and shit like that. Now, obviously, last week I said we is about to start giving some of these quarterbacks credit for some of these tip passes, only because of that how atrocious Daniel Jones looked when he was throwing off target and shit. Like, when Daniel Jones had to go off script, bro, he was forcing his receivers to drop them fucking passes. He wouldn't even hit them in stride, bro. They would sit down on the route and wait for him to make the throw. And then as soon as they realized he escaping, they would start to move to try to get him a better spot, and then he would try to throw it there. And so they would have to contort their body and do all this weird shit to try to get back to the ball after this bozo missed him already. And they trying to help him out, and he really just killing them. And so they look bad a lot. And then some of his throws would be touching the fucking ground damn near, bruh. And people would try to blame them shits on receivers and shit. See, that's what I'm saying. When shit like that turn into bobbles and shit like that, when he just fucking up receivers' time is so bad. Like, I'm talking about a receiver's already. Listen, you got to understand 2 things. A receiver not turning his head around is one thing. And then it's different from a receiver not getting out of his break. Okay? When a quarterback throw a ball before the fucking receiver can get his head around, that is not the receiver's fault, bruh. I see a lot of people blame the receiver for that. That is different between a receiver getting out of his break and being ready for the ball, and a receiver just not physically having his head. No way he should even have his head around by this point, because he ain't even begin to break on his route. Like, y'all give quarterbacks a lot of fucking leeway on that type shit. And I see quarterbacks do that shit. Andy Dalton did that shit a lot with AJ Green on comeback routes where the receiver wouldn't even have a head around yet. And he'd throw the ball and they'd be like, well, the receiver got to already know that the ball coming. What the fuck? No. This is not the part of the route where the ball should be coming. What are you talking about? No. That's what was happening with Daniel Jones, bro. I'm not talking about that type of picking, because he throw them picks and it bounce out the receiver's hands. Those are still his fault. He still calls those interceptions. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when a receiver legitimately should have made a fucking catch. When he was already out of his break, he was just scared to get hit, so he bobbled the ball because he was trying to get down before he caught the ball, or trying to run before he caught the ball, so he ends up bobbling it. Boop, it go up, and it's picked off. That's a receiver's fault, not a quarterback's fault. I'm not talking about that. That's what happened in ball. And then Mark Schlereth did a great job explaining to y'all motherfuckers into this crowd why that was such a bad interception. But I want to talk about, because I wasn't even caring about it. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about with this fan is how he did that two things. He took the shot at Lamar and then tried to say his defense was trash to try to make himself up. The biggest problem I have with him, though, is that some fan tried to tell him, bro, y'all never going to be good with Kirk Cousins, but you're talking trash about Lamar Jackson? Are you serious? And the dude said, if you really think Kirk Cousins is the problem, then you're stupid. And that right there just showed me that a lot of fans of teams are not even fucking watching their own team play. Bruh, it's no way you look at Minnesota on a regular basis and don't think Kirk Cousins is one of the problems. Because yes, the offense is a problem with some of the play calling. But do you realize they were a pass-heavy offense at one point in time, and Kirk Cousins used to turn the ball over a lot and couldn't make the big throws when he needed to. So they turned to Cook. They drafted Cook and whatnot to help him so he wouldn't have to do that shit no more. Like, they didn't just take all those privilege away from Kirk Cousins and say, oh, he trash. He played his way into having those privileges taken. But for some reason, you think that Kirk Cousins is not the problem and that your team could win a Super Bowl with him. And I just think that is just bozo logic. And that is a fan who done become so accustomed to losing and so accustomed to blaming the fucking coach for everything because you don't want to say your quarter. And I don't know what it is with fans wanting to hold on to their quarterbacks, because that's wild to me. Because like I said, these fans in ways of influence these organizations to keep these quarterbacks when the quarterbacks are not good enough to lead teams to Super Bowls. And people love to say, oh, if everything else around him, he can be he don't have to be great. He could just be a game. Bro, game managers do not win you Super Bowls, and you should not be striving to have game managers. You should not be, for one, you shouldn't be striving to have a team that does everything great except for have a great quarterback. Because when you play against a team that doesn't do anything great but have a great quarterback, you will lose that game at times, bro. And it's going to make no sense to you. But it's going to usually be a big game where that quarterback step up in ways that you couldn't imagine better than the defense. Because quarterbacks have shown they can outplay everybody else. The last time you saw a defense that outplayed everybody else was Seattle's defense in the not Carolina's defense, Von Miller's defense. But even Von Miller was one man who became possessed, bro. Like, to say you want everything else on your team to be great but not my quarterback and he could be carried somehow is just absurd to me. You want your quarterback to be the best part of your team, so when everything else is going bad, I can at least lean on my quarterback. Legit, we are only winning in Baltimore because Lamar Jackson is the best part of this team. Lamar Jackson put this team on his back on a weekly basis. I don't know how we are still winning some of these games, but Lamar Jackson is the only thing I could say. Like, I couldn't give you another reason. All I can say is if Lamar is on the team, we got a great chance of winning. The motherfucker do things that I can't explain to you. Like Sunday, the interception that wasn't his fault in overtime. That should have been the end of the game, right? The defense just gave up a big the game before overtime. Somehow they get to stop, and I immediately was like, bruh, it's the football guys, bruh. The football guys, there ain't no way we finna do this shit to Lamar, bruh. He too good. And what did he do? Lead him right down the field. He was leading him down the field. They was already in field goal range before the pick happened anyway, because he was already leading him down there. And then when you look at him against the Raiders, he was leading him down the field again and fumbled the ball. Like, the motherfucker gets down the field pretty easily when the game in overtime, when the game on the line, bruh. But that's what I'm saying. Why? Lamar been carrying Baltimore when everything else failed. So why would you want a team? And that's what's weird to me, because Cleveland got a team where everything is supposed to be great, right? And Baker the weakest link, but he can be carried. He just got to be a game man. The defense was playing bad. Mind you, speaking of fucking Cleveland, bruh, Are you motherfuckers crazy? Bruh, the media is fucking wild, bro. And this shit always happen, bro. And I'm telling you, bro, ignorant white dudes on Twitter, bro, you could just shut the fuck up and suck a dick forever, bro. Because I'm so sick and tired of this undertone racism, bro. These white analysts couldn't wait to say, and I knew this was gonna happen once they got a win. The analysts couldn't wait to say, oh, he never needed Odell. Odell was just a diva. Bruh, the motherfucker never threw it to Odell for one. So you cannot say he didn't need Odell because he been not needed Odell. That was the point. That was legitimately the point. He didn't need Odell, so they was holding him hostage. That's why people kept saying, free fucking Dell. So for one, that's ignorant. Because I knew that's what a bunch of white people was going to do. And I hate to turn this into I don't hate to turn it into a racing. I'm calling it exactly how I see it. So, for one, that really pissed me off because I knew that shit was going to happen. But two, if you go fucking look at the stats, yeah, you're going to say, oh, Baker. You're going to hop all on Baker's dick. You're going to ignore how bad he been all season. And you're going to chalk it up to, oh, it was Odell. Bad journalism that these motherfuckers go to school for. Bad journalism. Because they're going to turn all this shit that happened. They're going to they're going to tell them they eyes lied and just blame it on Odell because of one good game. And somehow Baker got all those interceptions on Joe Burrow. Somehow Baker got all those sacks on Joe Burrow. Somehow Baker got all those fumbles and fumble recoveries on the Cincinnati team. Somehow that was Baker. Somehow Odell not being there made Baker play better defensively. Very strange how that works. Bad journalism, bro. Just say you hate this man and move on. Just say you hate him and move on. Do not try to use him finally getting off of this team to try to misconstrue the story and the narrative. Because it's already misconstrued anyway. Misconstrued and fucked up anyways. But now you're just proving that you're racist, bro. Because the Browns beating the shit out of the Bengals this weekend had nothing to do with Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield made the open throws that I keep telling y'all that he should be making, that he often under or overthrows. He finally hit one this weekend on what? Play actions and the running game being great. Because when Nick Chubb is on his A game, Baker can relax. Baker just got to make the boop he open, because Kevin Stefanski is a great play caller. But you motherfuckers don't want to get... Listen, I knew this was going to happen. Somehow Baker is the reason Nick Chubb ran for all those yards, even though the stats say when Nick Chubb do what he do, they win the game. When Baker Mayfield, you try to make him Superman, they lose the game. But you ignore all that just to be ignorant towards Odell. Which I can promise you Odell could give a fuck less about any of that. But I just think it's real funny how that works. Like, yeah, they beat the shit out of the Bengals. But that didn't have shit to do with Baker. Didn't have shit to do with Baker. Yay, Baker Mayfield finally hit the throws he was supposed to hit. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Like, y'all motherfuckers be so quick to push narratives and to be haters, bruh. On me. The stats easily say that this was a win because of the defense. Because I don't remember the last quarterback that got interceptions and forced fumbles. I just can't remember. But if you can, let me know. But it's just so funny how they twist the narrative and shit for players that they don't like, bro. And that they continually disrespect by calling divas and shit like that, bro. It's insane, bro. And y'all brainwashed bozo-ass fans fall for it, bro. It's insane, bro. And I knew it was going to happen as soon as they got that win, bro. I knew it was going to happen. But, yo, when I was talking about Minnesota, bro, I forgot to mention Mike Zimmer, bro, and how he should be on the hot seat now officially, bro, because as much as I say Kirk Cousins not going to win your championship and all this type of shit, he making the decisions over there too, bro. But bigger than him, fucking Kyle Shanahan got to be called to the carpet, bro. I did not realize the Cardinals was not going to have three of their best players, bro. They wasn't going to have A.J. Green, DeAndre Hopkins, or Kyler fucking Murray, the best player on the team. The two best players on the team not there. It's no fucking shot they should have got their asses whooped like that, bruh. It's no way. They lost 31-17. It's no fucking way. With our starters, bruh. Nah. And if you blame Jimmy Garoppolo for everything, here's some more perspective. If you want to blame Jimmy Garoppolo, you got to blame the motherfucker that keep putting him out there. And if you want to say, well, our young quarterback ain't ready, well, you got to blame the motherfucker who drafted that unready quarterback. Kyle Shanahan, with all that being said, Kyle Shanahan has to take some blame. This is unacceptable. It's no way you should be losing to the Cardinals with Colt McCoy, bruh. Colt McCoy and they two top receivers out, bruh. It's unacceptable. And to me, it's absolutely wild that nobody said that about Kyle Shanahan. What, because he went to a Super Bowl? You know who else went to a Super Bowl that had way more winning seasons? Jim Harbaugh. The 49ers fired him. What is keeping Kyle Shanahan on the roster? I mean, as the head coach. Because I don't get it now. Because Jim Harbaugh had better teams, for one. And his team was more competitive on a yearly basis. And his team got to the Super Bowl once and almost got there multiple times. Was a perennial NFC championship game team. So I don't understand what's keeping Kyle around so long. Because I can say I like his offense all I want to, but I done said it multiple times. They do this shit where they like to score early and don't do shit for the rest of the game until the end, when it don't matter no more most of the time. It don't make no sense to me. And sometimes it do matter when they finally do something at the end. But then the other team finally do something and then end up beating them. I don't understand. How can I keep saying that he's an offensive guru if, for one, he drafted a quarterback that is not good yet, or is not even not even ready to be a quarterback in the NFL? That's bad gambling. If you got another bad card in your hand, why would you pick up another bad card intentionally? And you playing with a bad card? Like, what? That don't make sense to me right now. Like, he drafted a quarterback, a unfinished product or unready product, when he had a bad product in his hand. So you what? Like, I don't understand the logic going on over there in San Fran. It's starting to feel like the motherfuckers think they smarter than everybody else, and it's still all coming crashing down now. Because there's no way you lose to for what, you can't lose to a Kyler Murray-less Cardinals. That's one. But two, you can't lose to the fucking Cardinals that don't have Kyler Murray, nor do they have, because ignore all the other injuries, they don't have Kyler Murray or DeAndre Hopkins. What? And shout out to James Conner, who lead the league in touchdowns, bro. Shout out to him. But just like, bro, Kyle man, I don't know, bro. He got to be on the hot seat at this point, right? He got to be. There's no way he not on the hot seat. Like, how can this be? And to be honest with you, bro, if Matt Rule wasn't in just his third or second fucking season, he would be on the hot seat too for these bozo decisions he done made. Because I think, aside from Kyle Shanahan and some of his decisions, and you could say, oh, he done had bad luck often. Whatever, bro. Every team has injuries and shit, bro. Kyle Shanahan seemed to be the only one who can't manage it, because the fucking Ravens got a lot of injuries this year. We're number one in our division. The Steelers got injuries. The Browns got injuries. Every team deal with fucking injuries. You can look at teams every year that deal with injuries, bro. You cannot keep using that as an excuse for Kyle Shanahan when some of the decision making is starting to stand out more than that. Like, and listen, I'm not saying you fired Kyle Shanahan, but he need a fire lit under his ass eventually. Like, he need to know this shit ain't cool. That's all I'm saying. Like Zimmerman, or Mike Zimmer, yeah, if you fire him at this point, yeah, to me, that's probably warranted. That's probably past due at this point. I wouldn't say fire Kyle Shanahan at this point. But what I would say is you need to light a fire under his ass. Like I said, he cannot keep walking around thinking this shit's sweet. Like, nah, bro, you need to start winning now. The Super Bowl hangover, we done with that. That didn't even happen at this point because we don't look nothing like the team that made it to that Super Bowl that year. Like, some shit gotta happen. Straight up. Like, nah. There's no shot, bro. You can't beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. For one, you don't beat the teams that we let you not supposed to beat. Like, you lose to the teams you're supposed to lose to. Now you're losing to the teams you're supposed to beat because you're supposed to be the Cardinals team that doesn't have their 2 best players, bro. It makes no sense, bro. It makes no sense. And then you got speaking of offensive gurus, the Falcons got to win 27-25 over New Orleans, bro. And the game got interesting at the end because the Falcons are the Falcons, bro. They like to blow leads and shit. But, bro, this game is going to keep the... Bro, fuck it, bro. The Saints can lose. I don't give a fuck, bro. The Saints can lose all they want to, bro. The Saints should easily go out there and get Cam Newton, bro. Multiple teams could have went out and got Cam Newton. There's no reason he should still be sitting at home on his couch. But this game is going to make the Saints think that, hey, Trevor Siemian's serviceable. And they're going to keep losing. So they can do what they do. All I know is at the bottom of the NFC is going to be a lot of bad teams fighting for probably 1 or 2 playoff spots, bro. And they're going to get it. They're gonna get it because I mean shit. Hey, and the Philadelphia Phillies, the Eagles, a fan base that I despise. Jalen Hurts. I just want to give update. They lost to the even though I don't know if that's because they look like they starting to do more of the shit that I've been saying, bro, to get that offense going. And Jalen Hurts did look good this game. I didn't look at the whole game. I did see bits and pieces of the game, and he looked good. But this game, to me, obviously I looked at it because I wanted to see Jalen Hurts improvement and shit like that over what I've been saying the last couple weeks. But that's not even what I ended up paying attention to. What I ended up paying attention to was the Chargers, bro. The Chargers look... What the fuck going on with the Chargers? I know they put up 27 in this game and whatnot, but the defense, bro. I ain't talking about the offense. I'm talking about that fucking defense, bro. The defense almost just let an offensively challenged team beat them, bro. Like, I don't know what's going... Bruh, it's a couple teams, bruh, that's got to fix some shit, bruh. The Chargers need to fix that fucking defense. That defense is not good right now. The fucking, where this other team? Buffalo need to get that offense together. It's just not good enough right now. Where the other one? Baltimore. The defense, nowhere near good enough right now. And not only that, Baltimore's entire defense is bad now. The Baltimore's offense, not offense, Baltimore's linebackers, you heard me continuously say Baltimore got the worst linebacking core in football. Okay, Baltimore's defense is just atrocious at this point. Bruh, Marlon Humphreys, he ain't getting called All-Pro Marlo for the rest of this season. That motherfucker let dudes run past him on a weekly basis at this point, bruh. Every game, he just letting dudes run right past him, bro. Anthony AA done started getting cooked on a weekly basis at this point, bro. It's embarrassing, bro. Deshaun Elliott is out for the rest of the season with a bicep tear, so I hope him a speedy recovery and whatnot. But, boy, Marcus Peters has never been missed so much more now, boy. Baltimore didn't make no trades at the break to make this defense better. Like, I know and that's why I said they should have went out and got a running back, because when you so far away on the defense, because there's so many pieces they need on defense right now. They need a safety. They need some linebackers. They need some defensive linemen. They need some cornerbacks. Like, they need every single thing you could need on defense. All they need on offense is a fucking running back or an all-pro receiver right now. And you had chances to get both or one of those. You could have went and made a trade for Odell Beckham, or you could have made a fucking trade for Mark Ingram or another running back out there that was on the market. You didn't. And now you make it so much harder for Lamar Jackson to work. That's the thing with the Chargers. The Chargers defense ain't really stopping nobody. Yeah, if Joey Bosa get to the quarterback, cool. But he can't do that if you're getting double and triple team all the time. And you're making it so much harder on your fucking offense right now. You see what I'm saying? These things have to be tight. For Buffalo, when you got a defense that hold another team to 9 points, they did their job. The offense finally paid for not doing its job. You see, that's why I like the Titans, because when Derrick Henry went down, if the defense and Tannehill step up, this should still be a decent team. And they did that. Now, the defense stepped up a little bit more than Tannehill, and also Matthew Stafford looked like Lions Matthew Stafford, even though he's also another quarterback who I told y'all in the beginning of the season still be looking like the regular Matthew Stafford from the Lions a lot. Y'all motherfuckers just don't see it because the Rams are a good enough team where they can hide some of his bozo plays. They just didn't do it this weekend because they probably went into this game thinking they was going to mop the Titans without Derrick Henry, and they ended up paying for that. But I'm also take that as a Rams just having a oversight game. Like they looked past a team that they know they probably should have beat, bro. You notice a team that we're not gonna talk about. I'm gonna just say this: Miami and Houston had the most turnovers in the game in the last 5 years or some shit like that. And Tyrod was back, bro. If Baltimore lose to that fucking team on Thursday night, bro, I'm gonna be hot, bro. But I'm not talking about that game, bro. I'm not wasting my time talking about that fucking game, bro. But with that brings us to the end of another episode of Kicking It with Saint, man. I appreciate y'all for joining me, man. I appreciate y'all for kicking it with me, man. For a couple motherfucking, for an hour and a half, an hour or two. I don't know how long this is going to end up being. But I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. I hope you have a dope day. Hope you have a dope afternoon. Hope you have a dope night, whichever point in time you is watching this video. The Bears need to know that they got one and that the refs fucked them over royally tonight. But other than that, man, hey, in Lamar Jack NL, we trust. Y'all have a motherfucking amazing day, man. Saint is out.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps because they know what happens next. So without further ado, free smoke. Look, scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver, pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends, don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much I have you doing what it meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers, been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steered my